Alright, everybody. Alright, everybody. This is Fallout What If here. Today we're going to be doing part two to What If Deku was a caveman, Far Cry Primal. And I understand and I already noticed this too, that sometimes I let my phone get on my bed, and sometimes I move around. So this time I'm going to do it with my hands. So if you can hear any noises, besides my AC, which is on low percent. Yeah, let's see how this works. All right, so no more putting on the bed, no more you guys trying to hear these freaking like. Hold on, let me see if I can do it. Yeah, none of that crap. So anyway, I understand that I probably do other what ifs besides like the same what ifs twice in a row at the same time, but you guys have to understand, sometimes it's in my head already. When I think of something like my next what if, sometimes I think probably even more ahead. So I'm sorry if you guys think that that's kind of dumb, and yeah, I would probably agree with you, that's kind of dumb of me to do that, but this is still an idea that I have. So I'm not picking anything from the comments, because yeah, I just uploaded it right now. So this is Deku, and this is the saber-toothed lion, but it has much more hair around its neck, like how a lion would. But it has saber teeth. It has saber tooth. It has the teeth, the fangs, whatever you want to call it, and his mane is going to be red, like crimson dark red, but still light, where it shines beautifully. Kind of like the red button that I have right here that looks like an arrow. Well, that has an arrow right there, probably in the top right-hand corner. So, anyway, this is part 2 to What If Deku was, anyway. So, where I last left off, Deku is 8, and the parents and David Shield were talking about the whole preparations for Deku and him having his own arranged marriage, which technically they're going to be married at 15, or not 15, they're going to be married at 16 during high school, which they all decided, but Deku doesn't know about marriage. He knows that he likes the girls a lot. They were kind, they were sweet. They weren't warriors per se, like how his mother was or his grandmothers were, but he also knows that they were kind, and when he was around them, he felt the warmth. He did feel warmth around them. And Takar, like I said, he's dead, but Deku's pet or partner, whatever you want to call it, is named Takar in honor of his grandfather's memory. They didn't call it after his father, because his father was mostly somebody who fought, but he was weaker than Takar. He didn't actually train a lot, so yeah. And besides, he didn't have like the solo leveling stats, which I might give Deku probably one day. Try that one for, do all that. But anyway, Deku has learned a lot, and I said that he had Telly's quirk. And yeah, his eyes doesn't go like freaking like that. I don't know what it does, but it looks kind of weird, or it has like the circuitries around it. But Deku's is basically him having like cat-like eyes, and it's gold. It's around it. It's like shining. It's like blue polka dots, and his eyes become much more blacker, or around it. And it becomes much more pitch black, and it's kind of like what the Blood of Oros, the Rock, looks like, and that's how his eyes shine, and it's so pretty. They first thought it was kind of creepy, but then after them looking at it, because Momo and Telly do visit around at times, and they do all that, and Melissa's trying to push them away, but she knows she can eventually. She gives up, and she's like, all right, I'll love you too. I'll love you. I'll love all you three as well. And they kind of think that, and they all want to marry. So it's not like a competition, but they do want to see who's the better wife. And they're all genuine when they help Deku. That's what Deku likes. They're all genuine to him. And Deku's reminded of how his grandmothers were. One didn't like the other one, but they loved Takar. They loved his grandfather because he was a kind man to them. He didn't actually fight the weak. He fought the strong who tried to destroy the weak. And that's what the wives loved about him. And they took care of him. They healed him from all his wounds due to every time him going out and, hunting. Even though it was hard to hunt, he still went, which Deku likes. And All Might is on TV, right there doing there's no need to fear because I am here. Which, I'm actually getting better at what I say. Young Midoriya. Okay, I got this. I was sounding like a fag the other times, but, I'm getting it good. I'm speaking, it's kind of rolling off the tongue. And I got a special what if coming, in a couple of, after this one. And I'm also going to try to do the Goku and, Naruto ones. So anyway. Now, Deku is there with his lion, or with Takar. And the girls they were kind of hesitant at first, but they actually, warmed up to him. And he was he was poofy. He had poofy hair, which all the girls thought was super soft. So it felt like a pill. It was like the fluffiest pillow they ever had. And sometimes they take naps on him because he's super floofy. He has floofy fur. And Takar is pretty much normalized to this whole thing. And the guy, like I said, the Beastmaster, he went to jail for a year because of disturbance and fighting a child. But because he was a hero, he was left out for a year. And he tried to sue Deku and the Lion. Deku mostly because of what happened to him. Oh no, he was in a coma. Oh, never mind. Okay, yeah. He never mind all that. Never mind. So, Deku trains, and he trains with weights. And every day he does this. He does a bunch of sit-ups, push-ups, and he learns to crawl. And because the houses, or the big house that they have, is has little ridges around it, and has things where you can put your feet in, or what he thinks he can put his feet in. He's really good at climbing, and he's better at it. And climbing is really good for him, or is a good training thing because you're using a lot of your muscles, as far as I know. So he does this every day. They all notice that his muscles become much more toned, and they all teach him. They all start teaching him because they think he should teach them because they should let him go to school. And Deku likes the idea of going to school and meeting other kids, because the only ones he has met so far was Momo, what's called Telly, Melissa, and probably a few other kids, some rich kids. But some of the rich kids do try to pick on Deku because of what he wears. But Deku doesn't see this, and he basically bonks them all in the head. And this was after the whole freaking incident and having Takar. And Telly's looking at them like, oh, these kids are pathetic. I got hit with that, and all I just had was bruises. Or a bruise on my head, or a bump on my head. They're all crying and all that. And Melissa does, mention, well, you technically did tear up. And Telly's like, yes, I understand I teared up. But I took on that pain much more than these women, or these two idiots. And, yeah. So Deku, he likes riding on top of the freaking on Takar. I mean, he likes riding on the lot. Oh, jeez. He uses Takar like a horse. This doesn't get better from this. This doesn't. It's not better. But he's also gonna have a companion, which will come. We'll do in a bit. It's still on here. But anyway, what's it called? A couple of months have passed, and school time is about to start, and all of them, go on a camping trip. The family and all that go to a camping trip, and Takar is with them, and he's strong. Like, he can, like, technically bite your head. He can try to, like, paw at you, and it'll probably feel like one of All Might's punches. So, while they're riding on the car, Takar is, like, on top of, he's not on top. He's in a freaking trailer where they let Takar, like, go inside because they don't want him to, they don't want him to be inside the car because he's technically bigger than all of them. Any one of them. He's not bigger combined, but, he's bigger than all of them. He's basically, like, 8 feet. Or, not 8 feet. Technically, like, 6 feet taller than, like, 6 feet tall. Not like height, but more like length and width. So he's basically bulkier. He's basically bigger than All Might, in a way. He's bigger than All Might on all fours. So yeah. So that's why they're all able to sleep on him and they rub his belly and all that. Takar's still like a kid. He's basically a kitten to Deku. So anyway, they're camping. The Yaoyorozus, Telly's family, and him. They thought it was a good experience to let Deku show them how he does things back then. Which, he knows how to speak proper now. He doesn't, like, just do little random sentences. So, he just says, these are kind of like the places that I went to. And he sees a bunch of freaking, like, he sees a bunch of animals around. Elk, deer, foxes. A little, like, freaking, let's say monkeys as well. And I think, let's say koala bears. I don't know what all the animals they have. But there's one bear, yeah, okay, you already heard. There's a bear around. But they don't know this yet. And this is the biggest bear that they have ever met. Which is technically, let's say, fatter. Let's say he's half the fat of Fat Gum. This is a kind of hard tongue twister. Half the fat of Fat Gum. Never mind. So, he's as big as Fat Gum. He has scars all over his body. Because poachers always try to take bears. Due to the fact that, having some of, having bear skins is kind of like a thing for poachers. Which, they all technically are dead. Because he's killed each and every last one of them. Except for a few that talk about him in the poaching business. So Deku is right there. And he smells them. He smells them. But the bear isn't coming out yet. It's coming out later. And all of them are just camping. And doing all that fun stuff. But the bear is far away. But Deku could smell something like that. So, Deku and Telly, Momo, and freaking Melissa, they're all at a pond. And they're all hunting. Because Deku is going to teach them all how hunting works. How they should do things while they're hunting. And Takar is there. And he's hunting other things. And technically the bear is the opposite direction. So Takar is like hunting stuff, but he's not killing all of them. He's just basically grabbing what he needs. And he's running around the place, So he's pretty far. Let's say he's about a mile away. During the whole time, Deku is teaching them. He teaches Telly first. Telly kind of messes up. Momo, she kind of gets it, and Melissa kind of gets it. So he teaches Telly, and she kind of gets flustered due to the fact that Deku is still like, they're all still 8, but they're all acting like children. But she's blushing because somebody she loves, or technically kind of love, I don't know how love works for these people. Not these people, I'm just saying, the kids. You freaking children. So anyway, he's teaching them how to fish, and she's flustered due to the fact that he's near him, and she's looking at her at the same time. And after all that, Deku just shows them how he does it, because this is like basic for him. He's right there in an animal position in all fours. The moment he does that, he jumps and shoots himself into the water, grabbing a fish in his mouth, which all the girls are thinking, ew, yucky. And I think you should cook that before you eat that, before you, you get salmonella, or I don't know what's salmonella. You know what I mean. So anyway, Deku is done, but he senses him. He senses the bear, but he doesn't know it's a bear yet. But he just senses technically a hidden aura, or aura of death. But Deku doesn't want to alarm the girls, because he knows that if he alarms the girls, they'll get scared, and they'll, all run in different directions. He's keeping them all calm. Deku goes there, or he goes to the camp where the parents are at, and he says that he doesn't know why, but there's probably something in here. But the Yayorozu are saying, don't worry, my boy, you're probably just thinking things. And the other one, and the family are like, yeah, you're right, this seems like a peaceful place. The animals don't seem scared. But David is kind of like iffy on the situation, because this is Deku, and he trusts Deku a lot more than some people, because this kid probably knows what he's talking about, instead of two families that kind of basically live around, a house and a mansion. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, he doesn't see anything either. So instead of trusting Deku, he just says, yeah, don't worry, Deku, you're probably thinking things as well. Why don't you just sit down and eat some peanut butter and jelly? And the girls are all, they have all their lunches. They're eating with chopsticks, and Deku's like, all right. And he just grabs a freaking, stick out of his sides. He can technically grab sticks out of his hands. I'm just saying out of his sides because let's just say he's much more used to grabbing stuff from his, Holt, or where he holds his weapons. He grabs sticks and stabs it through the fish, through its mouth, through the end of its tail, and he summons 2 rocks to hold it in place, and it's cooking. He moves it from side to side while eating his peanut butter, and he thinks, this actually tastes yummy. It's the first time he's actually ever eaten peanut butter. Most times he just eats elk and dead things, dead animals, and fish. Anyway, Deku is smiling, and he's happy. He's happy because he's like a normal kid. He feels normal as a cave child is. And a bear walks in. Takar is still not there, but Takar does smell the air, and it's different. So he's running. But the bear is over there attacking the freaking, how do I say it? One of the animals. And they noticed this. They heard a loud roar. And Deku whistles to make sure that Takar hears him. And he says, everybody get in the car. And David says, okay, let's pack up, everybody. And everybody knows that when everybody heard that roar, so they're like, oh yeah, okay. I actually enjoyed this while it lasted. Maybe we'll go to somewhere else where there's no bears. But at the end of the day, let's just get the heck out of here. They all pack up and leave. Well, they don't actually leave yet, because the bear runs at full speed towards the Yaoyorozus. The Yaoyorozu sees this, and the man grabs the wife, and he throws him in front of David. He throws him to David, and the guy is about to get mauled until Deku runs in with the freaking two-handed freaking club. He whacks the bear in the head. The bear feels this, and it's roaring, and it sees Deku, and the bear's charging at him and swiping at him. Deku's dodging this with basic maneuvers, and the lion is almost there, but he's not there fast enough. The bear is trying to chomp at him, but no matter what, it keeps how do you say it? He keeps dodging him so much until Deku trips. The bear's about to chomp at his head until Takar runs to him, grabs him by the neck, and slams him on the floor. The bear is kind of dazed a bit, but Takar sees if Deku's alright, if it's in pain, or if he's in pain. And Deku is kind of dazed, but he gets back up, kind of feeling woozy due to the fact that he fell on his head. So he's having kind of, a concussion. He's bleeding, and he doesn't know why. He doesn't know that he's bleeding from the back of his head. But he knows that he should keep the family safe, and even the other people that he cares about. So he gets on top of Takar, readying up his spear. He gets the spear and summons it from his hands. And he grabs it, and he throws it at the freaking bear. The bear doesn't know what's happened, but it feels a stab wound on his sides. And Deku knows and sees the other scars on him. The bear trap marks, the freaking gunshots. He even sees a bunch of stab wounds close to the bear's eyes. And he also sees the bear enraged. And he also noticed, because it's not mostly enraged of it being stabbed, it's probably used to it. But I think it's most of the... not me. He thinks it's mostly to the fact that he's technically crossed his territory, where he thinks it's his place. And yeah, it's mostly like... Okay, so... Yeah, I think we kind of messed up here. So, Deku knows that he can't leave because the bear is going to attack them if he just runs away. So he stays and fights. It's a long battle, but the freaking bear is getting outmaneuvered due to the fact that Deku is hitting him with the club and hitting him from his sides with spears and bows and arrows. And Takar is running towards him and smacking him in the head with his paws, which both are strong equally. One has the advantage of speed, and one has the advantage of strength. And both of them are prime competitors to each other. Takar is right there. And he charges, and he grabs the freaking bear by his tusks, or his teeth. But the bear grabs him and grips him, and he throws him off. Even though the bear is severely injured on one side, the bear is so strong that it doesn't actually mind it at all. And Takar actually hit his head on a piece of rock, and he's kind of dazed. And the bear doesn't waste the opportunity. He grabs him by his freaking stomach, or whatever, with his teeth, and he picks it up and throws it back into the ground. Which, technically... Oh, hold on. Give me a second here. How do I do it? Okay. Oh shit! Oh shit! That could. Jeez. I'm glad somebody. Hold on, wait. Who's that? Adrian, but I sell crystal meth. Commented. Oh, geez. Okay. So, Deku is mad now. His primal rage sets in again, and everybody sees him. His body is much more tougher, and it looks like it's taking shape of the bears now. Because mind you, the bear was because last time he took on mostly the senses of a from a freaking saber-tooth tiger, but now he's taking the primal senses of a bear. He becomes much more bulkier. His hands becoming a little bit more wider, and his fingertips, the claws right there, are much more sharper looking. His body is freaking darkening, and not only that, his face is a little bit changed. It's much more longer. His teeth are much more bigger, and his jaw is freaking. It looks like his mouth, kind of like his snout, is a little bit much more bigger than his face. So he runs on all fours, and he grabs the freaking bear, and he bites on his freaking neck. Which the bear is the bear's freaking out, and he's trying to get Deku off. He's trying to get Deku off of him, but Deku isn't budging. Takar is kind of getting up again, but he knows that Deku is still right there on top of him, which Takar knows now not to give up. And he runs and grabs the freaking bear due to the fact that it might hurt Deku, and he slams him through the ground by just pushing him. The bear's weight falling back and him just receiving damage due to his own weight. The bear is kind of dazed now, but freaking Deku is turning back to the way he was. Still, his body is now producing fire and ice, which he's burning some of the skin. And the bear feels it, and he's cooling it off. And he's burning it again, and he's freezing it. He does this for a couple of times until the bear feels enough pain. And then he's technically at his lowest point of health. And Deku knows that he doesn't want to kill it, but he knows he has to. But he still gets him. He still tames him anyway. Because you guys thought I was gonna, kill him, but no. This is a bear. Deku's gonna have a bear, which Deku feels him, and he knows that he's still alive. So he grabs he grabs his meat, but no, he doesn't grab them. Oh, jeez, no, that did not come out right. He grabs he grabs the fish that was on the floor. It's cooked. So he picks it up and fills it with the freaking red and green leaves. And he picks it out of his hair. And the freaking Yaoyorozus and the Tellies are kind of amazed due to the fact that he's actually doing it. Because they didn't actually have a good look. Because they were mostly looking at the freaking dude getting, who got hit by the club, the Beastmaster. So, Deku was there, and he feeds the freaking bear. The bear being hesitant, but he knows that he's feeling much more better. And Deku does the thing that helps freaking Takar. And he senses that this is one of the last people who can technically tame Beast. The Beastmaster himself. The bear looks at him. The bear's eyes water up due to the fact that everybody tried to kill him. Everybody tried to get his skin. But Deku didn't. He didn't even fear him. Even though he knows that the child feared him. He knows that he was a brave warrior. And he looked at Takar and saw him as a worthy adversary. Even a rival, so to say. And Deku knows that he's sensing this kind of bond bond now with the bear. Which Takar is now healed up because Deku gave him some meat and some red leaves. But Takar is kind of feeling like jealous, like, oh, okay. But at the same time, he's like, he saw him as a worthy adversary as well. So, guess what, people? Oh man, I think I skipped that part. Ah, sheesh. Well, anyway. So, Deku is now healed. Or not healed. He saw the freaking bear. Or not the bear. He helped the bear. The bear is actually right there. Right there. And Deku tames him. He's already done all that. Tames him and he feels happy. Like I said, Deku's kind of tearing up because he kind of tears up when he does this kind of thing. Not because it's like a side effect, but it's mostly just his memories of his family. And he's right there and helping him. And he doesn't know what to call the bear. But he knows what to call the bear already. But he doesn't know if that fits him. But he saw all the scars on him and he decides to call him Da. Which, if you don't know, it's this dude right here. Which technically helped the Wenja. He was a hard-headed and strong warrior. But he did fight him once, so it was like kind of a thing. But he calls him Da. Takar and Da. The bear and the lion. So, yeah, okay, I'm back. So, all of them were amazed of him, and they see him and they think, not only did he tame a freaking lion, but he also tamed a bear as well. And David said that it's probably because bears were probably there back then. And so that's probably why. Because, yeah, he knows that he's a caveman, and they know as well that he was also a caveman. Because they did pay attention to the fact that Deku was probably the main part of the show. So, Deku holds Da, and he hugs him. And Da is crying. Because, like I said, he's been hunting, he's been attacked, he pretty much had a bad, crappy 4 years of his life taken away. And always worrying about him being hunted and not having a life of just eating fish and living it up. But Deku tells him in his own, in the way he knows how, that he's going to live with, Da's going to live with him. And Da, knowing that he wants Deku, like, he serves him now as well. The animals serve him each time he tames one. Just because it's more like a bond forged. And he's okay. And Deku says Da is family. And David's all like, well, Da is family, I guess. So they all go and Deku rides on Da. Because even though he's a cave bear and technically you can't ride him in the game, it's kind of dumb, so he's got to ride him anyway. He gets on top of Da. And Da is running around, and he's happy. He's living life like a normal bear. Instead, 2 poachers try to go over there, and they shoot Deku in the chest, near the heart. And Deku is down. And David sees this. And the girls see this, the family see this, and they're all horrified. Da and Takar see this. Takar, who was tortured by people, by hunting him. And Da, or both of them, know what it's like to be hunted down. Both know the true horrors of mankind. But they know that they're mad. David is mad as well. The parents are horrified. Not mad as much, but horrified. And the girls are crying and shocked, and they're in tears. Deku is technically pronounced dead because of the fact that he's been shot close by the heart. He is now in a little coma of his. And this is what happens when the humans try to hunt down animals for their own game instead of food. Da and Takar run towards the people, which were only two poachers. They didn't mean just to shoot the kid. They knew that the kid was there and he was an annoyance, but they would never kill him. They only tried to kill Da, but he was moving around too much. So, even though they did that, and they're sorry about it, both Takar and Da run and charge at him. They are destroying their bodies. They're mutilating it. No one actually sees that part. David doesn't even see that part. The girls don't even see that part. Not even the parents, not even one of them sees that part. Because all they're seeing is the fact that there's a dead kid. Or a kid that's in a coma right now. In a comatose state. And Deku is now in the other world. And if you guys want to know what happened to the two poachers, and I'm actually going to share this with you. The poachers, their guts are hanging by their fangs. Their bodies are now lifeless. They've eaten each and every part of it. Even to the shoes. Even the metals that were inside. They didn't care. They just lost the bond of somebody who was so kind, who was so gentle with them. And Takar felt this happiness, only to have it ripped away so soon. And Da having happiness, but the fact that it was took from him, only but just a couple of minutes, feeling it and realizing that the humans that just shot him were nothing more than monsters themselves. Inside Deku's head, he sees his family, which, hold on, give me, damn it, I'm so happy at the same time. Sorry. Anyway, Deku sees the whole family, his dead family. And you know how in the what's called canon in the anime, Deku can see the users of One For All? Deku can see the users of his blood, of the blood of Oros. They all looked at him. And Deku sees Takar and his family, his mother and father, each one of them going first, because all of them talked to him for quite a while in his comatose state. And Deku sees all this, and he's happy. His family is there. He doesn't know that he's dead, or he's not dead. They don't know that he's technically in a comatose state. All he knows is the fact that he sees his family, and that's all that makes him happy. Takar and Da are still there, right beside him, and David is there. They know who David is, but Da doesn't know a lot, so he's looking at him with anger. Takar is right there, freaking hitting him, trying to calm him down, trying to tell him in his own way that he's friend. He's only human, but he's friend to him. He's father. And technically, Da does understand this. He lets them all come to Deku. The girls are right there crying, telling Deku that this is not fair. Somebody who's lived billions of years shouldn't have died and should have at least seen the world, how beautiful it still was. The parents are mortified to the fact that happened. And David is more mortified because during the last 2 years, well, during the last 1 year, sheesh, okay, hold on, give me a second, people. I dismissed it. He's mortified at the fact that he could have, he could have treated Deku much more better, but he didn't. He still had, well, he didn't have it, he changed, but only for a year. So he's feeling even much more sad. The fact that he wished that there would have been much more time. But Deku's still talking to the parents. Then he gets to the grandparents. He talks to the two grandmothers. Takar is the last one. Besides his friends. All the other lions, leopards, all the animals. All the quirks, all the powers that he has around his fingertips is right there as well, behind Takar. And the animals and his friends. The Wolf Master, the real Da, the hunting lady, and the other two that freaking go around and play. And even the dude who creates fire, which, like I said, you gotta play the game for that one. But he sees Takar and he tells him, "How was your day? What did you do?" He explains everything. And he explains the whole 2 years that happened. Perfect detail. What happened. How he was sad that he missed him. Takar, knowing this, he says, "Deku, you are strong. You are funny." He doesn't say you are funny, but you are strong. You are cunning. You are a nice person. You are kind to those who need it the most. You remind me of myself when I was younger. Not only that, you found 2 big friends of yours. They're going to be a handful from time to time, but take care of them. The 3 girls that you start to like, even though they're not warrior, they are still kind and generous and genuinely good people. Make sure you have that close to you. Such as I, when I had my 2 wives. Or not 2 wives, just his 2... He calls it 2 partners in a way. But Deku knows this. And he cries and he holds him. But before he goes, Deku has freaking the blood of Oros spilling out. Takar sees this and says, "You are the chosen one, my child. I am glad that it was you. A kind person like you should go around and help the world out. I will stay. One day we will meet again. I hope it's not like this." And he holds Deku's back, and it starts to glow yellow, red, blue, green, different colors. And he unlocks Deku's memory of what to do and how to do other things, like revive the dead. But he knows that he wants him not to revive the dead like Takara and the others, because he wants to live, he wants his death to be peaceful. And he tells him that you should have this animal. It's helped me, and it's kind of like my eyes. Which is a eagle. Which is an owl's which is a freaking owl egg. And Deku wakes up back again. And this time, electricity is running through his body. It's running around like lightning storms back then. Which, if I said there wasn't lightning storms, there was lightning storms, but it wasn't like your real like a thunderstorm nowadays. It was more like it hitting the trees and all that stuff, because there wasn't like other like technology to put to freaking absorb lightning bolts. So electricity's coming out of him, and he's awakened. His blood is already stopped, but everybody is shocked. Even the girls are shocked. Even David is shocked, not knowing what kind of quirk he has. But they know that he lived once again. Electricity going throughout his body. And Deku holding this one egg. And Deku's crying again. And they think that it's because he died and he feels this pain. But it's the fact that he's happy. Or the fact that he got to see his family. He got to see Takar again. He got to see the rest of them. He got to know now how to revive the dead. He's a bit sad of the fact that he can't revive them because he already told him. But he's happy of the fact that now he knows what to do. How to control his power even more. And that's where that ends. But a year passes by. He's now 9. He's going to school. But he has his owl with him, which the girl's named Chirpy, because it chirps a lot, even though it's an owl. It's supposed to hoo, but it chirps like a freaking chirping bird. So I just wanted to like skip a year to explain the animal. After that, Bakugo was there. He does bully Deku, thinking he's the weakest. And the girls get mad at him at times, and he gets kind of mad at them. He tries to expose them. He's tried to explode them, but Deku punches him really hard in the chest. And Bakugo passes out. And he rides the car at times. Da. And Da lets him do that. To school. Because Deku is close by. The house is close by. Let's say 20 blocks away. I think that's close by enough. If it's not, then I do that a lot. Sheesh. So Deku and Da go home, but the girls do go with him as well. So let's say Momo and Melissa ride with Takar, because they're light enough, and plus Takar and Da are like really strong, so holding Deku and the others is kind of like holding 20 pounds in two hands. Da can do it. This is no problem to him, and he likes doing it anyway. And Telly's holding on to him and all that stuff because she's scared. In fact, she might fall and hurt herself, and they're going at slow pace. And technically, just Deku picks her up and puts her in front of him, and he holds onto her and says, "Don't worry, I have you." And Melissa and Momo are like staring daggers at her. She's like, she's like embarrassed, but at the same time, she's like, "Yeah, I got him." So Deku is holding her, and they go home, and he walks around with Melissa. Da and Takar are like, let's say that they're like close by, but they're just walking at their own pace, letting the two just do whatever they want. Melissa and Deku talk a lot, and she says about marriage and all that stuff, because let's say that they're 12. And Deku can speak in full sentences, and his hair is a little longer. And yeah, spikier and longer and fluffier Not only that, it has leaves in it, so the spikes do like stand up. The hair stands up much more. And Deku says, "Well, I do love all three of you. Doesn't matter. I will protect all of you because that's how I feel." And Melissa's happy about this. And they do have a little makeout session because he's already done it. He's already done that with the girls before, but they never actually screwed each other. They never gone at it like rabbits or do any of that. They just kissed. They do mostly kissing. So, and technically they're all like going to be each other's wives, so they probably done it once or twice. Like in the feeling, you know what I mean? Anyway. So they're walking around and they're going home. Until a freaking sludge villain comes by. Da and Takar. No. Oh, wait. It can't be. Because Deku was 14 at the... No, Deku was 13 at the time. Let's say 1 year later, Bakugo talks crap, saying he wants to be the #1 hero. And everybody should be lucky enough. They might be posers to a freaking... Not posers. They're lucky enough to probably be second place. They're probably not having like third-rate heroes, sidekicks for third-rate heroes, which everybody's like saying, "Oh, well, what about this dude right here? What about caveman-looking boy over here?" Because Deku does wear his like freaking. He wears sometimes the uniforms, but he just wears it like around his freaking waistband. The jacket's around his waistband. And most times than not, he's going to have like some fur gauntlets on him, which is just fur. Or hide gauntlets, or whatever you want to call it. Animal gauntlets. And technically, Bakugo gets kind of mad and says, well, he's just... And he just shuts up for the rest of the day. And he says... Oh, wait, and Deku says, yeah, I do want to be a hero. One with honor, and one with pride, and someone who will protect the weak, and fight the strong when that happens. And Bakugo's like, whatever, so what, you're just a freak. And the teacher says, oh, Momo and Melissa, with Telly's in a different classroom. Let's say they're in like class 1B, and Deku's in and Telly is in class 1A. In the middle school, I mean. And yeah, Telly does want to be a hero, and you know what? I'm actually going to give him the quirks. I thought about it, I'm like, nope, screw it. Give them the quirks. They need quirks. Quirks. Okay, I'm sorry. So, he gives Telly not what's called, not an enhancement quirk, but mostly a freaking fire quirk. Because she likes fire. Not only that, she likes to heat up her tea. That's basically a good thing for her. Momo will technically have kind of like a freaking a speed quirk in a way. She's much more faster. She does things with much more precision and speed. And Melissa, well, I wanted to give her her father's quirk, and they said something about bendy hands or fingers. I was like, nope, screw it. That's kind of like cool. It's kind of cool, but it's also lame. So I decided to give her a lightning quirk or electricity quirk, and kind of like how do I say this? Her own version of Dark Shadow. Because Deku does have Dark Shadow. It's kind of like it's kind of like Fumugake, or the emo dude. It's kind of like his quirk, but there's a difference. His quirk can be any animal he wants, but Melissa, it doesn't have a dark shadow. It's much more lighter. It's brighter. It's a white. It's a pure white dove. So, white. Sparkle Puff. We'll just call it Sparkle Puff. That doesn't sound gay at all, but technically she's a girl, so Sparkle Puff indeed. So, like I said, if I forget, then I technically forget. But Telly has an intelligent quirk and a fire quirk. Momo has a speed quirk and her creation quirk. But Melissa has Sparkle Puff and electricity. So, all four of them go home. They're all walking. Takara and Daw are gone. They're not gone. Not saying they're all gone. But Takara and Daw are feeling kind of ill, so they're taking care of both of them. Deku asks David to have some of his people to check on Daw and freaking Takara to see if anything's wrong with them. And David said, yeah, okay, I'll do that. You go to school, and you do, what you gotta do at school, and take care. Make sure the girls are safe, alright? Safe, alright? Deku says, okay, alright. And, yeah. It's already the end of school year. They're all there, they're walking home, and they're going through a tunnel. The reason why is because Telly decides to go around places. She likes exploring and venturing, and seeing if they have the latest tea or a good set of tea. And Momo's there probably thinking, oh, I should go get some food and try to work on her quirk. Melissa is basically with them because she likes having their company. Or not company. She likes being around their company. Or, how do I say this? She likes the company. Yeah. Deku's there because he likes all of them and he protects them. Moving on. So, after that, they go down to the down to the tunnel. Then the sludge villain arrives. And Deku is thinking he's not good. He senses the evilness in his heart. And he sounds like a villain. So, Deku, without batting an eye, grabs his ice quirk and his fire quirk and blasts it on the villain. And Deku... Oh, I forgot. The party... All Might wasn't there, alright? Let's just say All Might wasn't there. I actually forgot that. Alright? Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, so... All Might wasn't there because otherwise that he would have stopped Deku or the freaking fight. So, that happens. And Deku sees the villain and he knows that it's iced up and it's burnt. So, what he does is he grabs a freaking, how do I say it? He grabs a cup that's on the floor or a jar. No, let's see. He has a creation quirk. So basically he makes pot. He makes a pot. Not pot, not weed. So he does that. He puts it inside the villain inside there. And he ties it up with some string. Which you think it's probably like a weak pot. It's like a weak pot. But no, it's actually a strong like pot. Or pottery. Or whatever. So, All Might arrives, he sees Melissa and the freaking Yayorozu girl, and Telly sees Deku, and you know what? He says, oh, you guys took care of him. Well done. And he doesn't know what Deku's quirk is. Doesn't know. But every time he's around him, he senses this kind of aura. Something that he doesn't know why. But Explosions happen. Bakugo is hurt. Nobody's helping him. And Deku and the girls are already there. And no, wait a minute. That can't happen because Deku's already taken care of him. And this time, he can't actually get out of the freaking thing. All Might's not going to do any of that rash stuff. And that's where we're going to leave it off. I understand the thing was a little more distasteful. But I am just tired right now and I want to go through it as fast as I could. Without actually like automatically jumping and just going straight away. Which I probably did in the very end, so I'm sorry if the story did suck. But I just need to go to sleep right now because, yeah, I got work today. So, you know what? Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you do think. And tell me if the quirks that I gave them were dumb or not. Because I actually do like the fact that Melissa's going to have something like a Sparkle Puff. A direct reverse of Dark Shadow, as far as we know, as the personality wise, and her having electricity, which suddenly she'll have like a tech quirk for that one, or it's kind of like a tech quirk in a way. And yeah, just tell me what you guys think, and I'll see what I can do. All right, so yeah, bye. No, sheesh.